Hello there and a very good evening. You're watching Primetime News on TV1. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Dasnia Powder.
And I'm Jamal Ratnayaka. Here are your headlines for tonight.
Disabled soldiers call off protest. Sajid Premadasa promises to take up the issues at the cabinet meeting tomorrow. Court of Appeal orders a number of state institutions to release details of the ID card and passport of Gotabaya Rajapaksa. Decisive meeting of the Central Working Committee of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party tonight. American aircraft lands at Katunayaka again.
A group of disabled soldiers were protesting opposite the Fort railway station for the past 20 days called off their fast today.
UNP presidential candidate Sajid Premadasa met with the disabled soldiers who were protesting opposite the Fort railway station this morning. Minister Premadasa discussed the issues faced by the soldiers.
ඒ තත්ත්වෙම තමයි අද. ඒ තත්ත්වෙම තමයි සර් රට. කෙනෙක් පත්‍රිකාව හදලා ඔක්කොම කරලා ජනාධිපති අස්තන් කරලා ඒක කරලානේ. ඒක කරලා දැන් ඉදිරිපත් කරාම මේකේ බරපතල සංශෝධනය කරලා තියෙන්නේ අපේ මුදල් ඇමතිතුමා. මුතුමන්ලා දන්නවා මේ.
You would know that a village was built in Ipalogama for soldiers. They took 800,000 rupees from every soldier. Today I give land to the soldiers for free. I gave them 1.2 million rupees to construct their houses. This is not during the run-up to an election. This was under my housing program. So I am a person who respects and considers soldiers to be divine. That has always been the case in the past, the present, and it will remain the same in the future. There are special election laws that come into effect during the run-up to an election. Under those election laws, my entire housing program across the country has been stopped. It is illegal for me to even provide a bag of cement to anyone. But under this situation, I will bring up this proposal of yours at the cabinet meeting tomorrow. I will raise this issue and we will see what will happen. I am prohibited from making any promises. I will tell you what was discussed after the meeting. I am a problem solver and not a person who engages in populist politics.
මාව හිර කරන්න බලාගෙන ඉන්න කොට්ටාසයක් ඉන්නවා. ඒගොල්ලෝ ගැන මට ලොකු කරුත් ඇත්තේ. අපි පාරේ වහලන්නේ ඕගොල්ලෝ හින්දා.
After meeting with the soldiers, Minister Premadasa expressed these views to the media. Honestly speaking, I am a person who is of the opinion that soldiers must be given the most amount of support. So I will present the opinion of these people to the cabinet and I will come back to them with an answer. After Minister Sajid Premadasa left the location, MP Arundika Fernando arrived there. The group, including the MP, held discussions with the chairman of the national movement to protect the rights of war heroes, UD Vasanta. Afterwards, the MP returned with opposition leader Mahinda Rajapaksa. We called off our fast today. We did that based on the statements made by the presidential candidates who would rise to power in the future. We hope that we will never have to come onto the streets in the future again.
Meanwhile, presidential candidate of the UNP Sajid Premadasa expressed these views at an event held in Colombo this evening. The intelligent people in this country can understand who is behind this fast that went on for the past 20 days. Who created this fast? Who are the fathers of this fast? Was the fast carried out for a justifiable reason? Because I was asked to discuss the matter in cabinet and provide them with a solution. So I wholeheartedly told them that if I can, I will speak for their rights at the cabinet meeting tomorrow morning and come back to them either in the evening or Tuesday morning. But a group of your opponents who are watching this got scared that they will get a solution through the intervention of Sajith Premadasa. So preventing the solution, the creators of this fast came and based on their orders, this fast was called off. From the events that unfolded today, the entire country got to know about who is actually behind this fast. The highest authority in our opposition today came and proved to the entire country that they are the ones behind this string of strike actions that are being carried out across the country. Today, the entire country saw the obvious.
අපේ හිටපු ජනාධිපතිතුමාම ඔප්පු කරපු එක ගැන මම එතුමාට ස්තුතිවන්ත වෙනවා.
These views were expressed at the event to declare open a new coordinating office for the presidential campaign of Minister Sajith Premadasa at Vauxhall Street in Colombo. The event was attended by Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe. The Court of Appeal ordered to submit to court information on the NIC and passport obtained by the presidential election candidate of the SLPP, Gotabaya Rajapaksa.
The Court of Appeal issued the order to the Minister and Secretary of Home Affairs, Controller General of Immigration and the Commissioner General for the Registration of Persons to immediately submit to court information on the NIC and passport obtained by SLPP presidential candidate Gotabaya Rajapaksa. Counsel appearing for Rajapaksa presented to court a dossier containing information on the client's citizenship, passport and NIC and copies handed over to the Criminal Investigations Department. The Court of Appeal decided to consider the petition filed seeking a stay order on accepting Gotabaya Rajapaksa's Sri Lankan citizenship at 9:30 am on the 2nd of October. The petition was filed by Gamini Viyangoda and Professor Chandragupta Tenuara. The petition was called up in the presence of Appeal Court President Justice Yasantha Kodagoda and Justice Arjunobe Sekara. The respondents named in the petition are the Controller General of Immigration and Immigration, Commissioner of the Department for Registration of Persons, Secretary to the Ministry of Home Affairs, Minister Vajirabe Wardana, Opposition Leader Mahinda Rajapaksa, SLPP Presidential Candidate Gotabaya Rajapaksa, the Acting Inspector General of Police and the Director of the Criminal Investigations Department. The petition states that based on the facts presented by Gotabaya Rajapaksa on renouncing his US citizenship, a Sri Lankan passport and NIC were issued. However, the documents to prove that he is a Sri Lankan citizen cannot be traced. The petition further notes that the Controller General of Immigration and Immigration and the Department for Registration of Persons issued a Sri Lankan passport and Sri Lankan NIC solely based on the facts presented on renouncing the US citizenship and claim it is an illegal move. The petitioners requested for an order to be issued to prevent Gotabaya Rajapaksa being accepted as a Sri Lankan citizen and further to issue an interim injunction from activating his NIC and passport issued to him until the petition is taken up for examination and an order is delivered.
Can a foreign citizen become the president of this country? This is the main issue. Still, the matter of being Sri Lankan or the foreign citizenship remains unresolved. It seems that renouncing foreign citizenship remains problematic. The constitution will be violated if a foreign national becomes the president of this country. According to the constitution, a dual citizen cannot become the president of this country.
This is the dual citizenship certificate that proves that he obtained Sri Lankan citizenship in 2015. An additional secretary has signed this on behalf of the Secretary of the Ministry on the 21st of November. Mahinda Rajapaksa, as the president of this country, has signed this certificate. Although the UNP says that nothing like this has happened, this is certified proof of losing US citizenship. The approval date has been marked as 3rd of May 2019. Gotabaya Rajapaksa is not a US citizen.
Gotabaya Rajapaksa මැතිතුමා ඇමරිකානු පුරවැසියෙක් නොවේ.
In the matter of obtaining citizenship, if he has not presented fraudulent documents, he has certainly used them in an illegal manner. He has used 2 identity cards and he has used his invalid identity card to obtain his rights to run for the election. The CID has probed into that. Information from that investigation has been presented before the court as a B report. I do not involve in these court cases to pull someone's leg and deprive them from the right of contesting the elections. Presidency is supreme. He is the leader of the state. It has to be a person with a valid identity card and a valid passport. It has to be cleared. It is a clearance that we expect from the court.
Following other views expressed by the presidential candidate of the SLPP, Gotabaya Rajapaksa, about the various views presented by various parties of his citizenship and his national identity card.
When I was asked to take office as the Secretary of Defence by then-President Mahinda Rajapaksa in 2005, I applied for dual citizenship. Then Mahinda Rajapaksa, who was the subject minister at the time, handed me the certificate of the dual citizenship I obtained. The other thing is, there was no reason to obtain a fraudulent certificate at the time. President Mahinda Rajapaksa requested me to prepare for an upcoming election. Accepting that request, I took steps to renounce my US citizenship. Then I applied for a passport that was given to me in a legal manner. And in 2016, I applied for a new identity card and I received that as well. I have to say that this identity card and the passport was given to me by this government. I hope that a just decision will be reached regarding this. An aircraft belonging to the controversial Western Global Airlines of the United States of America has arrived at the Bandaranaike International Airport. Now, this particular airline company is certified by the United States Department of Transportation and carries out defense and military contracts with the US Department of Defense as well. The flight bearing the number N546JN arrived in Sri Lanka on the 28th of September from Liège, Belgium. One of the owners of the airline company is a veteran of the US Central Intelligence Agency. While attempts were made to ascertain what was on board this flight from a number of local institutions, a clear answer was not provided. On prior occasions, when aircraft belonging to Western Global arrived in Sri Lanka, it was said that the flights arrived based on requirements of a local service provider. This company, however, is a civil airline service registered to carry out transportation services for the US government. A similar aircraft belonging to the same airline had landed in Harare in Zimbabwe on the 14th of February 2016. The flight had landed there on its way to South Africa from Munich, Germany. After workers at the Harare International Airport noticed blood dripping from the plane, they had inspected the flight and found a dead body and 67 tons of freshly printed cash notes running into billions of South African currency. Zimbabwean authorities failed to identify the corpse found in the aircraft. The South African Reserve Bank initially said that they would not print such a large amount of currency in a foreign nation. However, they later claimed that the money belonged to them and requested Zimbabwean authorities to release the currency. Against such a backdrop, questions arise as to why an aircraft belonging to Western Global Airlines arrived in Sri Lanka with a presidential election around the corner. What was inside this aircraft? We continuously questioned as to what happened to the money that was scammed through the central bank robbery when it was being revealed. With an impending presidential election, is it possible that this aircraft was carrying goods or cargo pertaining to security? What was the aircraft carrying and what did it take back?
These views were expressed at a media briefing convened by civil society representatives.
In the past, a massive anti-American sentiment was expressed by the faction of Mahinda Rajapaksa from people like Vimal Veeravansa and Udaya Gammanpila. They said it is wrong to sign agreements with America and that equated it to selling the country off. They made allegations that a section of our country is being sold off. But we saw Keheliya Nabukwella now saying that under their government, they are ready to hold discussions on this.
The Central Working Committee of the SLFP is currently holding a decisive meeting at the official residence of the President. Now, this meeting was chaired by President Maithripala Sirisena. According to our reporter at the location, Attending this meeting has been made compulsory to all 60 members of the SLFP's Central Working Committee.
Before the meeting, media spokesperson of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, MP Veerakumara Dissanayake, speaking to the media, said that the final decision of the SLFP regarding the upcoming presidential election will be discussed at today's meeting. The Central Working Committee will also consider the decisions reached during the discussions between President Maithripala Sirisena and seniors of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna. Speaking further, MP Veerakumara Dissanayake said the request made by the General Secretary of the UNP, Akila Viraj Karyavasam, to the General Secretary of the SLFP, Dayasiri Jayasekara, is also due to be taken up at the meeting. He added that if the party is not able to reach a final decision today, the party's Central Working Committee will reconvene again soon and make a final decision.
Meanwhile, MP M.A. Sumandiran visited the temple trees this evening. MP Sumandiran in Mullathweep yesterday said that he had received an invitation from Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe for a discussion. Meanwhile, President Maithripala Sirisena met with the national organizer of the SLPP, Basil Rajapaksa. The meeting that lasted for more than an hour focused on the forming of an alliance between the two parties.
In more political news, this was the Podujana Peramuna's response to the proposed alliance with the Sri Lanka Freedom Party.
අපි යෝජනා කරනවා
We ask His Excellency President Maithripala Sirisena, the Pohottuwa symbol is not the problem. If you are with this cause nobly and your aim is to help Gotabaya Rajapaksa to win, you should definitely join the Pohottuwa. In the case we do not form an alliance, we will not slow our journey down by even a centimeter per second. We will continue our journey onward.
Electorate organizers and district managers of the UNP gathered at the party headquarters today.
This event took place at the party headquarters this morning. The meeting, chaired by presidential candidate of the UNP, Minister Sajith Premadasa, was attended by the leader of the UNP, Ranil Wickremesinghe, along with several other party officials. The event was also attended by party leaders representing the United National Front and MPs supporting the UNF.
එසේනම් නිරන්තරයෙන්ම ජනතාවගේ ඉල්ලුමට ප්‍රායෝගික සැපයුම ලබා දීමයි නීති රාමුව තුල අපේ වගකීම වන්නේ.
The general public elect us as those who will solve their problems. In that sense, providing practical solutions within a legal framework is our responsibility. I propose that Sajith Premadasa, along with the Prime Minister, all MPs, ministers and all officials of the provincial councils and municipal councils join together to give life to a new Sri Lanka and win the upcoming presidential election successfully.
ජනාධිපතිවරණය ජයග්‍රාහී මැතිවරණයක් බවට පත් කරමුයි කියලා මම මේ අවස්ථාවේ යෝජනා කරනවා. දැන් මේ ආරම්භ කරපු එක අපි ආරක්ෂා කරන්න ඕනේ.
We must protect what we started. If we reap the benefits during the next 5 years and create a new country, in my view, for the next 20 years, the UNP will remain in power. This is why this election is decisive. This is a decisive challenge. If we win this, we will reap the benefits and establish power. To achieve this, we have fielded a young minister as the presidential candidate from the UNP. We all know his talents and capabilities. We are all aware of his father's sacrifices. Let's all join hands to win this election. Ranasinghe Premadasa was the last president to be elected from the UNP. So let's start the next cycle with Sajith Premadasa as the president.
එතුමාගේ පියා කරපු කැපවීම දන්නවා. අපි සියලු දෙනාම එකතු වෙලා මේ ඡන්දේ දිනන්න අපි කැපවෙමු කියලා මං කියනවා. අන්තිමටම අපෙන් ආවේ ප්‍රේමදාස ජනාධිපතිතුමා. එහෙනම් අපි සජිත් ප්‍රේමදාසගෙන් ඊළඟ එක ආරම්භ කරමු කියලා මම ප්‍රකාශ කරනවා.
ගාමිණී දිසානායකගේ පුතා හැටියට මට විශේෂ යුතුයකමක් තියෙනවා. සජිත් ප්‍රේමදාස මැතිතුමාට බැහැලා කැප වෙලා එතුමාව මේ රටේ ජනාධිපති කරන්න.
As the son of the late Gamini Dissanayake, I have a special duty in ensuring Sajith Premadasa will be elected as the next president of this country. In order to win this, we must increase our vote base from 3.5 million to 6 million. I strongly believe our presidential candidate, Minister Sajith Premadasa, can win this election.
එම නිසා සජිත් ප්‍රේමදාස මහත්මයා රජ වෙනවා එක නෙවෙයි. අපි රජ වෙන්න ඕනේ. එතුමා බැරි වෙලා හරි පෙරදුනොත් පෙරදෙන්නේ අපි.
If Sajith Premadasa loses, we all lose.
බෑබ රාමේතාත් අපිට විපක්ෂ ඉන්න බෑ.
කොතරම් අභියෝග තිබ්බත්
No matter the challenges we have, the biggest strength of the UNP is our ability to join together as a party and go forward. Some might wonder, how come such a statement was made by Ravi Karunanayaka?
යම්ම හිතනවා ඇති කොහොමද රවි කරුණායක මේක කියන්න පුළුවන්.
We would like to remind everyone, we have created an era where we work as one family, disregarding everything else. Therefore, enough with the talk. It's time to work.
ඒ නිසා අපිට දැන් තියෙන්නේ කතාව නෙමෙයි වැඩට බැහැලා වැඩ කිරීම.
Presidential candidate of the Janaseta Perumune, Patramulle Silaratana Thera and regional leaders of the party met in Colombo today.
The people will decide on who is suitable to hold the position of the president. But these people are employing various tactics to gather the votes of the people. Now people who did not do a single thing for the people who did not even care about the people are now preparing for the presidential election. Have this presidential candidate done the same amount of service that we have done for the people? None of them have done it. They have been taking everything from the people. They have taxed the people as much as they could, sold the people and lined their own pockets.
Discussions on trade union action launched by railway workers and teachers unions did not reach a final decision today. Following talks with the cabinet-appointed subcommittee to probe the issues and provide solutions, the trade unions said they would continue with their trade union action.
Train drivers, guards, station masters and supervisors entered a trade union action 5 days ago, citing salary anomalies. Only 9 office trains operated this morning, while approximately 30 office trains due to operate today were cancelled. Meanwhile, State Minister of Transport and Civil Aviation Ashoka Besingha said more than 20 retired station masters have joined the service. He said they have joined the service on a daily wage basis. The State Minister further added that a special bus service will be implemented near all railway stations. Today is day 21 of the strike action launched by the non-academic staff of universities, citing several issues including salary anomalies. University Trade Union Committee Secretary Saman Karivasam said though the government had set up a meeting to discuss the matter today, the trade union was not invited. The Ministry of Higher Education said a cabinet paper to review the salary anomalies of the university non-academic staff will be presented to the Cabinet of Ministers tomorrow. Meanwhile, the Joint Committee of the University Trade Union held discussions with several trade unions today.
We urge the government do not let these strategic institutions engage in protests. We participated in these discussions not with the idea of leaving them halfway through. We participated in this meeting today without any conditions.
Meanwhile, university non-academic staff staged protests at several locations today demanding that 107% increases in salaries for state sector employees and the 2,500 rupee allowance be given to university staff members as well.
Now, last week, the central bank reduced interest rates on rupee-denominated loans and deposits. However, industry experts have expressed their concerns, citing the possibility of lower profits and marking. Newsfirst filed this report.
Speaking exclusively to Newsfirst, an industry expert from the banking sector said the central bank's move to decrease interest rates will expand their loan books and increase credit costs, which will impact the bank's total profitability. He added non-performing loans have gone up by a considerable percentage in all banking institutions, resulting in the banks to incur substantial losses. On a separate note, the industry expert said new interest rates imposed by the central bank will be applied to all new loans and deposits immediately. He added the new interest rates will only be applied to the current loan and deposit portfolio at respective banks' discretion. On the 24th of this month, the central bank mandated commercial banks to reduce lending rates by at least 200 basis points. Rating agency Moody's, issuing a statement last week, warned the new interest rates will reduce margins and bank profitability. The report adds political risks could also resurface with presidential and parliamentary elections scheduled for late 2019 and 2020. In response to this, the central bank issued a statement citing the conclusion by Moody's has not taken into account the complete information information set and is therefore unfounded. The central bank adds more realistic nominal and real lending rates are expected to stimulate economic activity gradually, thereby boosting the demand for credit. The reduction in interest rates will improve repayment capacity of borrowers, strengthen licensed banks, and address the challenge of rising NPLs. The central bank is of the view that the imposition of caps on lending rates of licensed banks would in fact be credit positive, contrary to the view held by Moody's Investors Service.
Speaking on the Newsline program this morning, former governor of the Western Province Azad Sali spoke about the presidential election.
See, I have already predicted that Sajid's vote bank, the 30% minority, 28% of the vote, first bulk will go to Sajid, and Sajid comes victorious with that vote only.
28% of what?
The minority, 30%. Out of that, 28% will go to Sajid, because the
who
minority
will get the balance of that 30%?
28% of the 30% will go to Sajid.
So only 2% is right.
That is why I have predicted Sajid is getting more than 62%. Don't worry about it. Some people say no candidate is going to get 50%. That was a time, 2 months ago. But now the situation is changing and it will further change. And with Sajid's manifesto coming out,
the boys' finals of the 46th All-Ireland Inter-School Shakespeare Drama Competition was held at the Bishop's College Auditorium last evening. The competition is organised annually by the Colombo YMCA and the Rotary Club of Colombo North.
The evening commenced with St. Joseph's College's traditional take on Anthony and Cleopatra. Directed by former Josephian Kevin Cruz, the play focused on the latter events of the play and the death of Cleopatra. Ananda College took the stage after Jos with yet another traditional adaptation on the story of the villainous King Richard III. The play, which had an excellent lead and an equally ensemble cast, was directed by Rajatha Hettiarachchi. It was a comedy that followed after two heavy pieces by the bard, which got the audience vivacious and bursting in laughter. Wesley College Colombo performed an extract from 12th Night, which had a powerful ensemble performance by Toby Belch, Maria and Malvolio. The play was directed by Tasmin Anthony's. Trinity College Kandy closed the curtains of the evening with their unique take on the tragedy of Romeo and Juliet, which focused on the simplicity of the bard's work, presenting their extract with no props on stage with an authentic concept. Aslam Marika, who won the award for Best Actor in the competition in 2004 for Trinity College, took the reins of the director this time. The award for Best Supporting Actor was shared among Akmal Hamid, Aslam Turab and Anuk Fernando of Wesley College. Nivedna Nayakara of St. Joseph's College won the award for the Best Actor for his portrayal of Cleopatra. After an evening of strong performances that went down the wire, Wesley College was adjudged third runners-up. St. Joseph's College Colombo was awarded as the second runners-up. A loud cheer emerged from the audience after Ananda College was announced as the runners-up at the 46th All-Ireland Inter-School Shakespeare Drama Competition, making it a memorable moment for the boys of Trinity College Kandy, winning the shield after 15 long years.
And with that, we bring to a close today's edition of Primetime News on TV1. I am Jamal Ratnaik for the Newsfirst team.
And I'm Dasniya Thaver. Good night.